Hey, mathematicians. For today's math lesson, I would love it if you could go get your math book. I delivered everybody's math book in that big bag of stuff that I brought to you. So if you have that, go ahead and get that out now. You can pause the video while you go get it. You will also need a crayon. If you just have a crayon, that's fine, or a crayon and a pencil, because sometimes it's easier to write our numbers with a pencil. So for today's lesson, you'll need your math book, a crayon, and a pencil. Now, if you do not have your math book with you, like maybe if you're at grandma's today and your math book is at home, that is okay. I still want you to watch today's lesson because you can just follow along on the screen, okay? But if you do have your math book, I've got mine today, go ahead and get that out and put that in front of you. Now, I want you to get on the page that looks just like mine. It is page 637. Do you see that number right down there at the bottom? Okay, so you're going to flip through your book to try to find that. And remember, you can always pause the video until you get where you need to be, okay? And then up at the top, you'll see that it says Lesson 11-3. Today, we are going to practice counting by tens all the way up to 100. And this is actually going to be a pretty easy lesson. We should be able to get through it pretty quickly. So there's actually going to be two math lessons today. We're going to get through lesson 11-3 and 11-4. Are you guys up for that challenge, mathematicians? I think you are. All right. So if you are on that page, I'm going to read you the directions, and I want you to try this solve and share all by yourself, okay? It says, color all the boxes of the numbers that have a 0 in the ones place. So if you need to, you can count those numbers out loud. And as you count aloud, color all of the boxes of the numbers that have a 0 in the ones place. And then tell how you know which numbers you colored. How do you know that you're right? Pause the video and you can tell yourself at home or a friend. If you've got whoever you have at home with you, whatever grown-up you have, tell them how you know you are right. All right, mathematicians, let's watch today's math video.
This is part of a 100 chart. It starts at 1. What number does it end at? It ends at 60. What numbers are colored? "10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. What do you notice about the ones place of the colored numbers? It is always 0. What do you notice about the tens place of the colored numbers? It goes up by 1 each time. What number are you counting by when you count the colored numbers? You are counting by tens. Now look at the groups of cubes. What do you notice about these numbers? They are the same as the colored numbers in the chart. How many cubes are there in each group? There are 10 cubes in each group. So every time you count a group, how many more cubes are you counting on?
I'm going to skip that part for today. That's okay.
Each time you add a group, you count on by 10 cubes. Decade means a group of 10, so each of these numbers can be called a decade number. What is the decade number just before 30? 20 is the decade number just before 30. What is the decade number just after 50? 60 is the decade number just after 50. What is the decade number just before 60? 50. Now you know how to count by tens. Great job!
All right, great job, mathematicians. Let's get back to our math book. I want you to go ahead and turn the page in your book. If it's easier for you, you can tear these pages out of your math book. This book is yours to keep. So if it's easier, you can tear the pages out or you can just turn the page. And now your page should look just like the page that's up on the screen. And just like we do in class, we're going to take a look at the guided practice where it says number 1 star. Now, before we get started, you can see up here the decade numbers, and we already know that fancy math word, don't we? The decade numbers are the numbers that are colored in these boxes. A decade is a group of 10. So here we have a group of 10 and another group of 10. So if we wanted to count those blocks, we could count 1, 2, 3, 4, but that would take us a long time to get all the way down here. If we know that each group is a group of 10, we can count by tens to see how many there are. Just like this, you can follow the arrows. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. There are 60 cubes there. All right, let's come down here. I'm looking at number 1 star, and you can see it on your screen. Or if you've got your book in front of you, you can also look at your book, okay? For number 1 star, it says, draw a circle around the decade number that comes before 40, but after 20. We have to really listen to those clues. I'm going to get my pencil so you can see me do my work. I'll do blue today. All right. Draw a circle around the decade number that comes before 40. All right, here's the decade number 40. All the decade numbers that come before 40 are above it. So 30, 20, and 10 are decade numbers that come before 40. But we're looking for the one that comes before 40 and after 20. Here's 20. What's the decade number that comes after 20 and before 30? I said it wrong. And before 40, it's the decade number 30. I gave you guys the answer. So this decade number comes after 20 and before 40. It's kind of tricky, isn't it? Let's do another one. I'm looking out at number 2 apple. It says, look at the chart and then draw a circle around the missing number. Well, here's the blank space. Which one of these is the missing number? Here is 60, blank, 80, 90, 100. What's the missing number that should go here? Now look at this. They already put the dotted line there for us. It is the number 70, and you can use your pencil or a crayon to circle that. So it would be 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Let's turn the page in our book. And actually, you don't have to turn it. It's just the very, very next page. Okay, kinders, here we go. Let's try a little bit more together, okay? I'm looking at number 3, fish. Look at that hundreds chart. Oh my goodness, that's so many numbers. Draw a circle around the missing numbers in the following pattern. So listen to my pattern. 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, 100. All right, we're going to try that together. Watch this. Draw a circle around the missing numbers. So when I stop, what is the next number? So if you use your hundreds chart and follow along, you'll be able to see it. Are you ready? 10, 20, 30. What's the next number? Circle it. Remember, you can always pause the video if you need to. I'm going to get my pencil back out. All right, I said 10, 20, 30. What's the next number? It was 40, so draw a circle around 40. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. What's the next decade number? If you said 60, you are right. All right, 70. What's the decade number that comes after 70? 80. What's the decade number that comes after 80? 90. Are you circling these numbers in your book with me? And then 100. Good listening, you guys. You're doing so great. All right, number 4, heart. And this is going to be for number 5, handprint, and number 6, coffee cup. You are going to count the cubes and then draw a circle around the number that tells how many. Easy peasy, right? Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, kinders, that cube train is a group of 10. And look at these cube trains below it. Are they the same amount? Yes, there are 10 in this group, and there's 10 in this group. All right, my kinders, listen to this. We could count these cubes one at a time. We could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But because you guys are almost big kid first graders, first grade what? You're going to need to know faster ways to count. And if we know that each of these groups is a group of 10, let's count by tens to find out how many are there. 10, 20, 30. Do you see how I did that? 10, 20, 30. Which one of these numbers at the bottom shows 30? This one right here. So go ahead and circle that. Isn't that much faster than counting by ones? Let's look at number 5, handprint. Kinders, each of these groups is a group of 10. If we needed to, we could count these cubes one at a time, but look how many there are. That would take us a long time, wouldn't it? And if you need to do that, that's okay. But if I tell you each of these groups is a group of 10, let's just count by 10 to see how many there are. Do it with me. Are you ready? You could even draw an arrow down to each group as we go like this. Watch. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. How many cubes are there? In all, there's 70. Let's circle the number 70 to show that there are 70 cubes. All right, here we're to my favorite number, you guys, number 6, coffee cup. How many cubes are there? Again, we could count them one at a time, but I'm going to tell you a hint. There are 10 cubes in each group. So let's just count by tens to find out how many there are. Are you ready to do it with me? You can mark in your book while we do it, or you can just watch the screen. Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 80 cubes in all. Circle the number 80 to show that there are 80 cubes. Very good. You guys are doing so awesome. Go ahead and turn the page in your book, and I'll turn the page in my book too. Kinders, what does that big word up at the top say? Independent. You got it. This is independent practice. Now that you have your books at home, I would love it if you could try these pages all by yourself. Or actually, these pages, just one page, isn't it? See if you can do the independent practice page all by yourself. If your grown-up is home, the directions are right down at the bottom, and they could read those to you so that you can try these by yourself. So you could pause the video now, do it by yourself, and then come back and I will go over this whole thing. If you don't have your book, or if you don't have a grown-up at home right now that is available to help you, maybe they're working and they've got some things to do, then you can just do it with me right now. But if you want to give it a try by yourself, go ahead and push pause now and try these pages. Okay, here we go. If you've got your book done, let's see how you did. Number 7, Christmas Tree says, count the cube trains by tens, write the decade number as you count, and then circle the number that tells how many. All right, here we go. So what they're wanting us to do this time is write the number as we count instead of drawing the arrows, and we can do that. All right, here we go. This is 10, 20, 30, 40, It's a little hard to write on the computer. 50 and 60. How many cubes in all? It's 60 cubes in all. Isn't it so much faster to count by tens when we know that we're working with groups of tens? All right, what about this one? For number 8, flag, it just says count the cubes and circle the number to tell how many. Let's count each group. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. There were 100 cubes there. Wow, that's a lot. All right, for number 9, kite, it says write the decade numbers in order. Here we go. Our first decade number is 10. Then we have 20, 30. Do you notice that there's a 0 in all of the ones places? 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then the number 100. Very good. All right, you will notice that the next pages in your book up at the top, they say homework and practice. You guys do not have to do these pages. I'm not going to go over the answers in this video, in fact, but if you would like extra practice, you can do these. And if you do them, take a picture of them and show me your work, okay? But if you want to be all done with math now, you can. This would just be if you wanted extra practice. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Another Look video, and that will conclude today's lesson.
This is a 100 chart. It can help us count numbers from 1 to 100. Today we're going to look at the last column of the chart. Let's say the numbers in this column together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. These numbers are called decade numbers. Do you see a pattern in this column? As we move down the column, the ones stay the same. The tens go up by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Decade numbers help you count to 100 by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Look at these numbers. Do you see a pattern? Can you use that pattern to find the missing numbers? Look closely. There are 0 ones in each number. 0, 0, 0, 0. These are decade numbers. So the missing numbers must also have 0 ones. 0, 0. Now look at the tens. They go up by 1, 3, 4. 1 more than 4 is 5, so the missing number is 50. See that? We're counting by tens. 30, 40, 50, 60. The next number must be 70 and 80. Wow! Seeing the patterns really helped us find the missing numbers. That's a lot of good work for today. Please come back and visit soon.
Great job today, mathematicians. Don't forget, today we're going to do 2 math lessons. So after you take a little break, why don't you come back so that you can do the next video. I'll see you soon.